Whoa, what's good with your YouTube and YouTube busted? Your boy Triple Cup Chuck and I'm up. And appreciate you for coming rock with me, like, sharing, and subscribing. And if you have an opinion about the situation that's going on, leave a comment below. I'm gonna read it. Because when you comment, our collective minds put together, we bring synergy. This how we starting the video off? Whoa, what's good with you, Yang Gang? It's your boy Triple Cup Chuck, and I got a quick question for y'all. I would like to know, do you think that $15 an hour is equivalent or better than universal basic income, where you get $1,000 tax-free, no strings attached every month? Or you think that we should just wait to get it at our SS or Social Security after we retire? Well, this your boy Triple Cup Chuck. After the introductions, we finna go diving into this here, man. It's gonna be some, yeah.
Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night. I'm up. Double cup, feel it right. Told Chuck, I feel like every night is all night.
Child care instead of having to pay 20% of their income for it.
Senator Warren, I've been talking to Americans around the country about automation, and they're smart. They see what's happening around them. Their Main Street stores are closing. They see a self-serve kiosk in every McDonald's, every grocery store, every CVS. Driving a truck is the most common job in 29 states, including this one. 3.5 million truck drivers in this country, and my friends in California are piloting self-driving trucks. What is that going to mean for the 3.5 million truckers or the 7 million Americans who work in truck stops, motels, and diners that rely upon the truckers getting out and having a meal? Saying this is a rules problem is ignoring the reality that Americans see around us every single day.
Senator Warren, respond, please.
So, I understand that what we're all looking for is how we strengthen America's middle class. And actually, I think the thing closest to the universal basic income is Social Security. It's one of the reasons that I put forward a plan to extend the solvency of Social Security by decades and add $200 to the payment of every person who receives Social Security right now and every person who receives disability insurance right now. That $200 a month will lift nearly 5 million families out of poverty, and it will sure loosen up the budget for a whole lot more. It also has a provision for your wife, for those who stay home to do caregiving for children or for seniors, and creates an opportunity for them to get credit on their Social Security. So after a lifetime of hard work, people are entitled to retire with dignity.
Thank you, Senator Warren.
I see this as an important question about I want to understand the data on this.
Senator, thank you very much.
I want to make sure we're responding to make this work.
Your time is up. I want to give Congresswoman.
Oh shit, Yang Gang, we gotta watch out for Elizabeth Warren and how they was talking about $15 an hour better than UBI. And I want to give a shout out to everybody that commented on my last video. They had this one in particular comment that was talking about $15 an hour, and I had to bring in a point why I think UBI is better than $15 an hour. First point I would like to make on them, $15 an hour will be good, but if you don't have a job to go to, what $15 an hour will do for you. And on top of that, with UBI, you get $1,000 a month to push right in your own community. So every adult that's over the age of 18 in every community will have at least $1,000 per month to pump back in his own community. A person that's homeless will have $1,000 a month to be able to get himself off of the street. Now, if you are homeless and you don't have no place to stay, it will be extra hard for you to get a job. Now with the UBI, you will be able to have the opportunity to get a job. Now you'll be able to get off the street, and now you'll be able to work. And on top of whatever you're making, let's say if you're making $10 an hour plus the UBI on top of that every month. So that's better than $15 an hour, because you could help more people. A person like they were saying about his wife, and they was talking about Social Security. Now Social Security is cool. We need Social Security. I do not debate on that, but I don't want my whole life depending on wait till I retire to actually be able to live. I don't want to wait till I retire to actually have the money to start a corporation or something like that when I'm too old to actually be able to do that. With this being said, I feel like Social Security need to be in check, but Right now, it should not be the main focus over UBI, because if you get Social Security, you will get UBI on top of that. Andrew Yang break it down. We finna go into the second part of this video, because it look like we're gonna have a battle on our hands, because Andrew Yang is finally being recognized by the rest of the Democrats. So this is a good move that we seeing him being attacked. Yang Gang, we was already prepared for this here, because we know what's going to happen, because Andrew Yang hype train is starting to gain a hell of a lot more steam. Well, let's go ahead let's get back to the video. Let's do this.
Gabbard a chance to respond.
Thank you. You know, really what this is about is getting to the heart of the fear that is well-founded. As people look to this automation revolution, they look to uncertainty. They don't know how this is going to affect their jobs and their everyday lives. And I agree with my friend Andrew Yang. I think universal basic income is a good idea to help provide that security so that people can have the freedom to make the kinds of choices that they want to see. This has to do with bad trade deals that we've seen in the past that have also driven fear towards people losing the way that they provide for their families. Really what we need to do is look at how we can best serve the interests of the American people. I do not believe a federal jobs guarantee is the way to do that. The value that someone feels in themselves and their own lives is not defined by the job that they have, but is intrinsic to who we all are as Americans, whatever we choose to do with our lives, and we can't forget that.
Thank you very much.
My point exactly. Thank you. Finally, somebody on this campaign trail besides Andrew Yang gets it. Finally. Oh, and then one of the last thing about I'm gonna call her Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? She is a cool person. I like her because she genuine. But one thing I always say, you know, I like how she had that little strip in her hair that kind of reminded me of Rogue. She need to go ahead and put that back, because they kind of like help her stand out from the rest of the crowd, basically. So I don't have nothing bad to say about her, but this one's gonna come up next. This part right here is what really made me want to do this video. So we gonna continue with this here. Y'all gonna see what I'm talking about, and after this here, we gonna go back diving, because then it's gonna time to go all the way up. Let's do this here. Synergy.
22nd. Today, thousands of GM workers here in Ohio and across the country are on strike. All of you on the stage have voiced support for these workers. Senator Booker, one of the latest impasses in negotiations involves bringing jobs back from Mexico. As president, how would you convince GM to return production to the United States?
Well, first of all, the one point I wanted to make about the UBI conversation, and I hope that my friend Andrew Yang will come out for this, doing more for workers than UBI would actually be just raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. It would put more money in people's pockets than giving them $1,000 a month. We have to start putting the dignity back in work. And number one, you start having trade deals. Not like this thing that the president is trying to push through Congress right now that gives pharmaceutical companies and other corporations benefits and doesn't put workers at the center of every trade deal. We must make sure we are not giving corporate tax incentives for people to move jobs out of our country, but start to put the worker at the center of that and make sure that they have the resources to succeed. But it's more than that. I stood with these workers because we're seeing this trend all over our country. I stood with unions because
Cory Booker, you just exposed yourself. Let everybody know that you is so far attached from the day-to-day American people. When you keep doubling down about this $15 an hour, and you just heard why that was a bad idea. Second of all, let's go ahead and say this here. If I'm working, busting my ass, and I finally reach $15 an hour, now all of a sudden they start the minimum wage to $15 an hour. That don't mean I'm gonna get, let's say if I would start at 10, now I'd worked up to 15, now the minimum wage go up to 15. That don't mean I'm gonna get that extra $5 I had on my raises. Now I'm just gonna be at 15 at starting bottom minimum wage start. Minimum wage, literally, it should be simple for like kids and young adults who just want money to have fun and go party. They don't have no responsibilities. That's what the minimum wage should be. Now, on top of that, you got to think about this here. Everybody do not want to work for somebody else. They want to start their own business. They want to be creative. They want to bring uniqueness. They want to add synergy to the conversation. So when you have your own business, your own job, you could be more productive. I hear this all the time when they talk about black people are lazy. They don't want to work. This is exactly why they do not want to work for you. They want to work for themselves. Think about it. Every young, let's say even criminals, they out there selling drugs and all this other type of stuff. That's simply because they want to work for themselves. They don't want to work for you. They trying to make their own way out. And a lot of people is so far detached from the regular, normal, everyday people that they can't see this here. They can't see if you work for $15 an hour for somebody else, sooner or later, you can be fired, let go. The company could shut down. The company could move overseas. And you can't force nobody to come back over here to America. The only thing that you could do is you can invite them and start doing things to make it be more appealing for them to come back to the United States, and saying, hey, you got to start paying people more money. That's not going to entice them to come back. Now, if you take away the whole concept of this $15 an hour, you keep the minimum wage what it is, give companies the opportunity to come in here and be able to pay their workers, and on top of that, you have a UBI, so now they still will be able to get this money. They don't have to worry about the employees raising their wage to $15 an hour, so they have to work you harder or hire less people to be able to make their quota. So if you cannot understand this simple terminology for somebody from Louisiana, the South, all the way at the South, to say, I've been hearing like, yeah, you country. Yes, I am country, but I'm not stupid. I'm intelligent. I got one shot and I can't miss. That's why I know exactly, precisely why I'm a part of the Yang Gang. Now, if you are not a part of the Yang Gang and you stayed to the end of this video, that means you're curious about the Yang Gang. Get comfortable, because we finna do this here. Everybody, know what I'm saying? It's your boy Triple Cup Chuck. Like, share, put this out here, and especially this import, because Cory Booker, if I had to see him face to face and I had to interview him, I hit him with some real tough questions to see where his morality at. And with his morality, as he trying to pretend, man, you know that's a fake persona that he trying to do. I know this here. You know this here. I've been out here. I can see through a person like that. Don't get me wrong. He's not a bad person, but he's not here to help the people. Not because he don't think that he's not trying to help the people. He's just not attached to the American day-to-day people. He's trying to be a part. He's trying to make himself look more likable. He's trying to do all these things. That's cool. I understand. I respect that. But genuine, you cannot fake. It have to be in you or not. You not a part of the American people. You is detached. The only candidate I seen, matter of fact, I ain't gonna say that. They actually have a couple candidates that I seen that's actually right there with the American people. But to me, the closest person to the American people and know exactly what the American people want, need to do, trying to do, and how to do it is only one candidate, Andrew Yang. Good second place, Bernie Sanders. Well, this is your boy Triple Cup Chuck. I'm out. Appreciate you for rocking with me. Like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Let's do this.